I want our kids to have the same opportunities that other kids have. Kids come from other countries and they were running and jumping and moving around in their countries, and if they didn't, if they live in big urban areas in their countries, this is their chance. They get to enjoy. Our kids have gone through a lot coming to this country. Sometimes they have not seen their parents for many years. Being in school, we try to provide that safe environment, and PE is part of it. It's not something that we cannot leave out, because if we only do the academics, it will not be complete for them. It has to be a well-rounded education. If they do like fine motor skills or gross motor skills, they will apply those in the classroom. Even just to learn how to hold a pencil. Some kids come and don't know, we give them a pencil and say, what is this? They've never seen a pencil before. And we teach them, and it's part of fine motor skills. Jumping, screaming, learning how to use their bodies. It's important.
No, you have to go straight, okay? Ariel, ready? Go.
What a wonderful experience for them to come and get these great teachers like Mario teaching this incredible curriculum. They just thrive. Basically, we do it 3 times a week for 35 minutes. And when we stick to it and we follow it developmentally, the results are amazing.
At Missionette Center, we really work together and we support each other in whatever we need. The district was offering the classes for PE, and we went ahead without anybody telling us, you have to go. And we went to the training and we said, this is what we want. We went and applied for a PE specialist. We were blessed to have Dave come and teach us how to teach PE in a more structured way. We are learning a lot from him, all of us.
I think the structure of this program that the district provided, the school, is what's made it work. If they just said, you have to teach PE without any equipment or instruction, it wouldn't have been as successful. And the PE specialist was key. And he also gives professional development to our teachers, so they're getting lots of support from him. And the skills are built, they're developmental in PE that are used in recess and lifelong learners. So yeah, joyful learners, that's what it's about, joyful learners in all areas.
Once teachers get out there and begin to see the changes in their students and hear the laughter and see the students having fun, as well as the physical changes that come with being active, students participating in class more, students having better energy towards the end of the day, teachers really start to come to me and thank me, and they should be thanking themselves in a situation where those students are being given an opportunity to succeed at their own level and be able to take the steps that they need to progress through physical education.
Well, if they are all sitting on their desks, and I just go one kid at a time to the board, I would say that half of the kids will pay attention and half of the kids will say, it's not my turn. If we have everybody involved and they are physically active in the learning, and they don't know when I'm calling them, they don't know which group I'm going to call, so they have to be engaged. They are counting, they are jumping. Sometimes I say, okay, how many times did you jump? So they are using their whole bodies, not just their brains. It's bodies, their brains, their legs, their everything. He also helps them to learn how to work cooperatively with other kids, even to take turns. And if we teach nutrition at the same time, PE helps them make smart decisions about what they're going to do with their bodies and their diet.
Raise your hand. Stretch. You gonna do it? Okay, let's go. What are we going to do?
If you go into another school that hasn't had any kind of professional development, you'll still see teachers out there playing dodgeball and the little kid like I was, dodges and doesn't really play, and they're standing there. With this district adopted curriculum, everybody's playing and everybody's involved. The child that may be a little more clumsy or is not an athlete, this is a place where they can excel. Mario is the coordinator for our green team. He helped me hire a garden coordinator. He's organizing a walkathon for the school. Here you're tying in gardening, science, health, PE.
When it's a rainy day, what we do is we lift up the cafeteria tables and we move in there. We might run on the hallways, but we honor that time. It doesn't have to be PE time to do PE. You can be teaching PE when you're in line, when you're standing. If you see the opportunity, just grab it and do it.
PE is important to me because we want to teach students some of the basic skills to have so that they can use these basic skills in their adulthood to live a healthy life, to have a healthy heart, have a healthy mind. During the day, there are times that I do sit down, and there are times where I stand up in front of the whiteboard and teach. There are times where I'm joining along and having fun with them too. Basically, it's a Cantonese immersion first for kindergarten through first, second, and third, and then you slowly transition into incorporating some Mandarin into the curriculum. We really challenge the students' mind. It's really intense. They're learning both languages, they're writing both languages, they're reading both languages. Since we've challenged their minds, it's also nice to go out and do some PE to challenge their bodies. And while we're challenging their body, it gives them time for their own mind to kind of ease, just relax a little.
Most of our staff is great here, but Stella, I thought, was doing a very exceptional job. She's very clear when she gives directions. She also has great control and command of what she's doing and breaks down the skill levels very well. Stella also has very good start and stop signals. She changes her fronts all the time, so she moves around and addresses different students' needs. When she sees a student having trouble, she is right there to step in and give some feedback.
The PE specialist helps us with a lot of things that we're doing, such as to be more aware of the common mistakes they make and how to adjust it, how to make certain activities more challenging, easier for certain beginners. She really guides us and shows us step-by-step instructions.
most teachers have not had the opportunity to have instruction in how to provide PE. Most credential programs only provide, if anything, one class, which is not sufficient if they're required to be teaching PE to their students on a daily basis.
I'm really happy that our school has all of us working together as a team. Our word wall has a lot of English terms and Chinese terms side by side, so we know which terms to use and we want to unify them for all the students. As a backup, we use our auditorium for rainy day PE time, and because we have multiple classrooms here at our school, we are all fighting for one location. So sometimes we would use our classrooms as areas to conduct PE. Our PE specialist suggested paper aerobics. We'll have the music going up and then they'll follow me. And the students love this activity. Find a unique way of holding your handkerchief and walking at the same time. So some students would put it between their, they'll put it on their elbow and then they'll walk around like this. When I see my students smiling, laughing, giggling, I feel they are having a blast during PE.
They might like it, they might not, but at least they can decide for themselves if they've been given the opportunity. But when we don't provide that opportunity, then they will never know. And some might never know what hockey is or what golf is because they haven't been exposed to it. We realize the importance of it, but there's always a but. And we're always the first to be put on the chopping block. But it's actually mandated by the state, and I think that's what gets forgotten a lot. It can be more than just at school. It can be for a lifetime, and that's the goal, is to teach lifetime fitness.
I hope my students can make the right choice in living a healthy lifestyle by eating right and exercising.
So let's start by warming your body up, jumping jacks. I want to hear you counting.
1, 2, 3, 4. Teachers sometimes think about PE and worry maybe that a whole bunch of people from the district are about to walk through and feel like it's unmanaged. So I think one of the big barriers for teachers in doing PE with their class is learning to love the chaos and really accept that motion is going to look very messy, but that it's critical.
Unfortunately, sometimes we forget that they're 7, 8, 5, 6 years old, and that by nature they move, they wiggle, they want to be moving around, they need to be moving around. And so sometimes I catch myself saying, "Sit still, stop moving," when what I really could be doing was, okay, let's move around, or even better, changing my methodology. How am I delivering this lesson? How are they participating?
How high can you go?
At El Dorado, we don't have a PE specialist, so PE is still important, and that means I have to find a way for my students to do it. So I talked to Lindsay about what ideas she has. I look in our closet to see what equipment we have. I have some PE manuals from the 70s, and I look through to see which ideas might work with my class. It's better that we try and have it fail than not try at all.
It's nice to be with Jennifer because she is a powerful advocate for everything she does and knows, and it was great coming to this school and knowing that I wasn't alone in teaching PE. We teach it in very different ways, but that doesn't really matter. I think that's what our students need, is variety and feeling like there's more than one way to do something.
When my students look outside in the morning and they see Lindsay's third graders doing PE, and they'll tell me, when I'm in third grade, I'm gonna run fast like that.
Let me repeat the first step. I will give you a partner. You will Rochambeau with the partner I give you, and then you will sit down with your bouncer, ready to begin. If I do this, woo, we win! You lose. Does that make it fun for everyone? No, this is a team game. Your job is to exercise and work together. It is not a race game. Are you ready? Bounce. Red. Cheer. Are you cheering for your partner? Are you showing that?
Physical activity is important to my students because I have very young students. And so part of human development is developing a sense of balance, developing hand-eye coordination, having strong core muscles so that you can sit up. For their academic work, they need these skills to succeed. My students write better when they can sit up tall because their abs are strong. They write more neatly when they have hand-eye coordination. Many of my students come to school and their sense of balance is not too good, and then they bump into each other more often, and we develop our sense of balance by using a teeter-totter and swinging. So these are experiences we just need to have so we're not clumsy. Especially for students whose behavior challenges are around maybe hyperactivity or inattention. It helps them find their own core and focus so that they can really perform in their academic work.
Come on, Pop. So make your hands into a pond snail. This is your foot. Here is your shell.
El Dorado is located less than a mile from a major Superfund site. We have an asthma spike in our neighborhood. We are also in a food desert, so many students are either experiencing food insecurity or it's just simply too hard for their families to regularly access healthy foods. So we have students who are obese or really just malnourished. Physical activity in Viz Valley is challenging. Part of the challenge is just geography. This is a very hilly neighborhood. While we have a lot of parkland, these places are not always safe for children, and therefore children aren't able to access them as much. So there are barriers around safety and around geography.
I think that's why it's even more important in some of our communities and some of our schools to make sure that they're not just having recess, but they're having physical activity and physical education.
It's a lot easier to when we do PE for reading because we get all the energy out of us, and then we get relaxed and start reading.
If I don't exercise, I won't feel happy and ready to learn.
It's like our transition. It moves their bodies. It kind of shakes out all that energy, and it lets them start the day in a peaceful, calm, relaxed way.
With PE, I don't feel that sad anymore. It's because of the movement that I do. I'm just happy about it. When I get to school, I feel so tired, but when we do PE, I just wake up. I concentrate and I don't mess up, at least sometimes. It's fun to move.
It's easy to hear that PE will help your students perform better. It's harder to say, I'm going to carve out 20 to 30 minutes and really trust that other learning will be improved by making time for physical education. Physical activity is an important part of my life, and I want my students to have the same balance and peace and health and wellness, and they deserve it.
When we have PE, even if I feel like it's a chaotic failure, my students go home and tell their parents they had a great time running up and down the yard. I have the strongest abs in kindergarten. I had a student tell his parents that he did 1,000 push-ups.
I would like to see all of San Francisco's students being given the recommended, the necessary number of minutes of physical education, to see teachers who feel comfortable, who feel supported. I am excited for the time when, as a community, we start to realize that there are tangible benefits and that it not only meets a standard or gives them a number of minutes, but it changes the way they think, it changes the way they learn, and it changes the way they feel about themselves. And I want that for San Francisco's students.